This is Future Talk.
Future Talk.
Future Talk with Omnia Al Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Welcome back to Future Talk right here on Pulse 95. It is me, Hani Balkis, with Omnia Saleh. I bring you everything you need to know about what's happening in the tech world, in the UAE, and around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, the 22nd of March. Obviously, I do need to give you a quick weather report every day as I do. The weather is shiny. It's very sunny. Yeah, and there's a little bit of wind, which I like. Cool breeze a little bit. But yesterday's weather was better.
Yes, indeed. And it's been pretty dusty, to say the least. Coming up on the show, we have lots to share with you all, and we're going to be,
Yeah, I think it just depends on where you're at.
I think we should change Future Talk to the weather forecast.
I mean, the weather is very important. It does. If the weather is good, your mood is good.
Yes.
If the weather is bad, your mood is bad. That's why they call Jowi Hilu the weather.
True.
In Arabic, weather means Joe.
So my vibe as well.
Yeah, so my vibe as well. So the weather does kind of coincide with your vibe.
I agree with you on that one. And it also coincides with how probes in outer space as well as different satellites tend to function, because today we're going to be talking all about the UAE Hope probe and how it is currently preparing to transition into its science orbit around the red planet.
Yes, and we have new news for WhatsApp and how it's going to stop working on earlier Android and iOS devices. Every couple of months we do get new news that WhatsApp is stopping the usage on Android and iOS phones, certain products though, and we're going to be telling you which phones and if your phone might not be the one anymore.
Yes, indeed. Coming up on the show as well, in the world of apps, lots is happening. We are going to be talking all about TikTok, considering the introduction of a new group chat feature this year.
I'm surprised that they don't have it yet. I mean, why wouldn't you want to send memes to a huge group?
I know. And funny videos as well, because a lot of people have been sharing TikTok videos, let's say, to WhatsApp, to Instagram, for those people who are not on the platform itself.
I just sent it to Snapchat because it's funny. But satellites that can clean up space junk with a magnet are about to launch in space. We've talked about space debris a lot on the show and how we're actually polluting outer space. It's as if it's not enough that we're polluting Mother Earth. We have to pollute outer space as well.
Well, I'm glad the world of tech has lots of solutions for that as well. Coming up on the show, we're talking all about ex-Google employees finding a new alternative to Google. Will it win users or not? Lots and lots is in store right here on the show. So keep Pulse 95 locked, and we'll be right back.
And speaking about exes, save your tears.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Your quick roundup of everything that is happening in the tech world, in the UAE and around the world. Today's tech news is all about outer space, because we're going to be traveling to check up on our very own UAE Hope probe. It is finally preparing to transition into the science orbit around Mars, and it's going to be firing its thrusters for 8 to 9 minutes tomorrow on the 23rd of March.
Yes, the UAE's Hope probe will soon perform the first 2 maneuvers to get closer to its science orbit around Mars. Now, the spacecraft, which did reach the red planet on February 9, will begin its mission of collecting atmospheric data once it does enter the target orbit in April. Now, on March 23rd at 1 a.m. Gulf Standard Time, so 1 a.m. UAE time, the probe will fire its thrusters for 8 to 9 minutes to correct its positioning. Now, for the past couple of weeks, Hopes have been traveling as close as 1,063 kilometers to Mars's surface, and as far away as 42,461 kilometers.
Yes, indeed. The Mars orbit insertion was actually highly successful, and it was very precisely targeted so that they can go ahead and plan a reduction in the transition to science maneuvers, but also move to the science orbit ahead of schedule. We do know that a very big team of Emirati engineers and researchers are actually currently working on the Hope probe, ensuring that it is going right on time in its mission and there are no delays. But there are 3 scientific instruments that Hope will be basically, let's say, playing around with and using on the surface of the red planet. We first have the Emirates Exploration Imager, which is basically a high-resolution camera and an ultraviolet light that will be using the spectrometer to capture different data from the surface of Mars.
Yes, now the strategic orbital placement will allow the spacecraft to complete one full circle around the planet every 55 hours and even capture a full planetary data sample every 9 days. Now, Hope will study why gases are crucial to life are escaping from the atmosphere. It will also trace movement of energy through the atmosphere and the planet's weather dynamics. Now, the last maneuver before it enters its science orbit is scheduled for April 6th. Now, all images and science data gathered by the UAE Mars mission are being uploaded online so anyone can get their hands on it, and obviously, it is for free.
Yes, indeed. And all of these data is actually currently being uploaded on the Emirates Mars Mission.ae. So any student, any institution, any university can have access to all this information, whether they are based right here in the UAE or even abroad. We do know that learning about the surface of Mars will help us understand a little bit more our own planet Earth and why the climate has been changing the way it has been. But also, could Mars become our home one day? We do know that the UAE is currently building a new settlement on the surface of Mars that will be ready to basically be habitable by the year 2117.
Yes, now we do know that once upon a time there was life on Mars, but there isn't anymore. Let us know your guys' thoughts. 4215 do it select or on Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. Would you like to live on Mars one day? And are you excited to see what kind of data that will be transmitted from the Hope probe all the way back to the Mother Earth and to the UAE? We're going to be taking a short break, but when we come back, we got news about what's up. But Undia, I think it's called Undia.
Unis dia, I think.
Future Talk.
This is Future Talk.
With Omnial Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have news for you coming straight out of What's Up and how it might stop working, or it's not might, it will stop working on earlier Android and iOS phones. Now, the messaging platform has announced that several iOS phones will no longer run the app. Now, we're looking at every couple of months, What's Up is coming out and saying, hey, listen, if you have an old phone, well, you might not have access to our services. Now, a new update to What's Up will mean the app will no longer run on several Android and Apple phones.
Yes, indeed. Now, honey, there are two types of people in this world. There are people who constantly update their phones. Whenever a new phone comes out on the market, they're out there buying it. But there's another type of people who will not change their phone until it completely breaks in the palm of their hands. And this news is specifically for those people who have not changed their phone in quite some time, because now WhatsApp is forcing them to do so. There is news that this news was actually launched on the FAQ section on the WhatsApp app itself and the website, that any phone running the Android 4.0.3 operating system or newer and iPhones running on iOS 9 or newer would be the only phones that are compatible with the WhatsApp app. Anything older would have to basically have the phone changed to be able to use WhatsApp.
Now, due to the update, the iPhone and earlier models, including the iPhone 4S, will not support WhatsApp soon, and users will now need to update or need to upgrade their phones to an iPhone 5 or later model to use the app. Now, those who are still on iOS 9 won't be able to use the platform either, and iOS 10 will be required if users do wish to use the encrypted chat service. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think if you have an iPhone 4, you gotta update it already. I mean, iPhone 4s...
I'm surprised it's even working.
I mean, they're very outdated. A lot of apps in general cannot... a lot of apps... The phone cannot handle all these apps because obviously I think iPhone 4s had even 8 gigabytes of memory back in the day. So 8 GB was a lot, but now it's not a lot. And I think even the standard on iPhones is now 32. It used to be 16. So, you need to update your phone. I mean, it's good saving and harnessing those phones. But at the same time, most of them are now fossils.
Yes, indeed. And I feel like especially people who keep their old phones, like let's say you upgrade to an iPhone 12, but you still have your iPhone 4, 5, and 6. If you want to go ahead and check on your WhatsApp chats by any chance, insert that SIM card. You may not be able to do that anymore, so it's best you can go ahead and back up those chats. But models 4S, 5, 5S, 5C, 6, and 6S will have to update their operating system to iOS 10 to be able to continue to use WhatsApp. Any iPhone 6S, 6S Plus, and the first generation iPhone SE are the last phones to go ahead and support the latest version of the newly newly released iOS 14. But if you want to find out if your phone is the one who will not, or that will no longer be supporting WhatsApp, all you'll have to do is go to your settings, go to general, and then information on the phone itself. Then you can go ahead and find out what software version is on your iPhone. For Android users, all you'll have to do is go to settings, then about, and you can find out what OS versions are running on the smartphone itself.
Now, to find out if your phone still supports WhatsApp, just do that what Omnia just mentioned, and you should see whether or not your phone is still capable or not. But I mean, if you still have the iPhone 4s, the iPhone 5s, or even all the way up to 6S, you do need to upgrade regardless. I mean,
for
if
your
you're
own benefit.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to upgrade, great. If you're not, because we see nowadays that iPhones or phones in general are horrible investments. You cannot make money after you sell a phone. It's not like a car. A car can stay or withstand 20, 25 years of service. We see cars in the road still from 1999. They work fine. I mean, a little bit of maintenance, but with phones, it's a different ball game. Let us know your guys' thoughts. 4215 do it slot or on Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. We're going to be taking a short break, but when we come back, we're talking all about my favorite app, TikTok.
Pulse 95.
Apps all around.
What's worth a click and download?
TikTok. We talk about it almost every single day, and people have been sharing different videos that they see on TikTok, whether they were funny videos about certain locations right here in the UAE that you may have never found out about before. Did you see those videos?
Yeah.
About like certain grocery stores or
life hacks,
locations. It's crazy how much information you can find on TikTok, whether it was useful information or even funny videos that will keep you entertained. But what do you do with those links of videos when people don't necessarily, use TikTok, or you can't share them with a group of people on the app itself?
I mean, sometimes it's a little bit annoying sending it to Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram sometimes. So now TikTok has come out with the group messaging feature this year. Now, people with knowledge of the discussions did say that putting the Chinese-owned app in a more direct competition with social media rivals such as Facebook. Now, we do know that TikTok is doing great, believe it or not. Now, TikTok is killing the social media industry. But one thing that they don't have is group messaging feature. A big group. Now, we're all on Instagram, and we all have Instagram groups where we send funny videos or maybe interesting topics to our group of friends, and we all comment on it. We'll have a back and forth laugh about it. But unfortunately, TikTok doesn't have that. But now they do. Now, group messaging is part of TikTok's plan to develop into a more social interaction app. Now, one of those sources did say that this feature has been part of the Chinese version of TikTok, Douyin, since 2019. So for those who don't know, there's actually two versions of TikTok.
Yes.
One Chinese version and one international version.
Yes, and we do know that the Chinese version is basically only restricted to Chinese people, since China loves to censor what information its users get through social media apps.
Yes.
But the new group chat function would help TikTok users stay on the app a little bit longer, since they no longer have to take the link to go to WhatsApp or Snapchat to be able to send it to a large group of people. This will particularly be popular with teenagers as well as young adults, since we do see TikTok trying to expand its live streaming and e-commerce offerings, and group chats would definitely help influencers more easily connect with fans over the platform. Now, ByteDance did have internal discussions last year about introducing a feature like this, but many updates were on hold after the application came under fire from the Trump administration and was banned in India.
Yes, now U.S. President Joe Biden's new administration has actually paused a government lawsuit that could have resulted in a de facto ban on the app's use in the United States, and corporate sponsors have raced back to the service. Now, the White House has also said last month that it has taken no new proactive step related to the Trump administration's plan for TikTok's American operations to be acquired by U.S. investors. A couple of months ago, Omni and I were kind of having a debate whether or not Microsoft would take control, Oracle would take control. A lot of companies, a lot of big spenders, and even Walmart at one point wanted to take control of TikTok. Now, the Trump administration had contended that TikTok poses a national security concern, as the personal data of U.S. users could be obtained by the Chinese government. TikTok, which has over 100 million users in the U.S., has denied the allegation.
Yes, indeed. And one good feature about this new group chat option that we may be getting soon is that it is most likely going to be, actually, it's not a good feature. It's most likely going to be unencrypted. So people will be a little bit worried about their own privacy. But at the end of the day, TikTok is a very public platform. It's not a platform for you to have private conversation with your loved ones on. You have WhatsApp, you have Facebook Messenger and Instagram DMs to be able to do that. But currently, the TikTok team are actually evaluating when and where the group chat option will be launched on TikTok, which countries will be eligible for it. I have a feeling right here in the UAE, we will also be getting it pretty soon.
Yes, now, a guy actually called Hani Farid, who is a digital forensic expert who is on TikTok's U.S. Advisory Council, did say he had not been notified about group chats being launched in the U.S., but he did add the platform would need to be ready to deal with dangers that would come with expanding into social messaging. Now, I'm excited for it. I feel like they're kind of blowing it out of proportion a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because TikTok is a Chinese app and a Chinese company does operate it. So they're just looking at anything to bite the bait on. I honestly believe TikTok, it's fine. I mean, most of our data isn't secure anyways on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter. The list can go on, LinkedIn.
You know, Hani, the thing is with all this, there's no PR that's bad PR. So whether it's good or bad, TikTok is just looking for publicity.
I mean, 100% you're right with that, but I just believe that a lot of people are attacking TikTok just because TikTok is doing it right. You know, they created a creators fund. People are getting paid for funny videos, even if it's not millions and millions of dollars. It's funny, very creative. Everyone is trying to copy it. Facebook, which is American owned, try to copy TikTok with the Reels. Snapchat, American owned, try to copy TikTok with the music feature. TikTok is paving a way for a new social media type of thing, giving more content to the creators and to the users.
And the best part about it is that they're very relevant.
Yes.
Yesterday, with Mother's Day, they had new Mother Day features for anyone who wanted to create videos for their own mothers through the app. So they try and fit to the occasion, no matter what that occasion is. Let us know your thoughts. Do you use TikTok? And how many hours do you spend on TikTok? Let's be honest over here.
Let me check real quick.
Because the hours can definitely fly by when you're on that platform. Our text lines are open.
I use it when I do cardio.
No way.
Yeah,
what a smart way of killing time.
Yeah.
Our text lines are open 4215. Do it to Salat or slide into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. Hani, did you find out?
Yeah, I spend an hour a week on TikTok.
Well, that's not much at all.
Yeah, I thought it was more. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break and we're going to be back soon.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've told you before, time and time again, that there's actually pollution or space debris in space. So, some people, some scientists, some researchers have created a satellite that can clean up space junk with a magnet, and it's going to launch soon.
Yes, indeed. With the frequency of space launching dramatically, especially in the past few years, scientists are trying to find a new way to capture all that junk, all that debris that is out there in space. And if you're wondering what could potentially pollute space, the question is what won't, especially when we have lots of countries, launching satellites, launching different probes and different gadgets to try and learn more about the outer space. This causes a lot of those devices to basically explode in outer space, fill up space with junk, and there's no way of cleaning it. But now, a brand new solution has come to life, and that is a satellite that can clean up space by using magnets.
Yes, a Japanese orbital cleanup company, Astroscale, is testing a potential solution. Now, the firm's end-of-life services by Astroscale do demonstrate mission is scheduled to lift off on the 20th of March, which was a couple of days ago, and it will be aboard a Russian Soyuz rocket. It does consist of two small spacecrafts, a small client satellite and a larger servicer satellite, or chaser they call it. And the smaller satellite is equipped with a magnetic plate actually, which will allow the chaser to dock with it. So obviously a chaser would be something chasing the debris.
Yes, indeed. And the two stacked spacecrafts will actually be performing 3 tests once they are in orbit. Each of those tests will involve the service satellite going ahead and releasing and then recapturing the client satellite. So it's like a little bit of a test run that will be taking place. The first test will be the simplest of all. You'll have the client satellite drifting a short distance away and then being recaptured. In the second test, you'll have the servicer satellite setting the client satellite tumbling before catching up with it and matching its motion to grab it. So all those tests are basically simulating what we would basically experience in space with those satellites. Some of them have already exploded, others are just about to explode. So how can you use the satellite to prevent the explosion or just capture the mess before it even happens?
Yes, now if those 2 tests do go well, the chaser will live up to its name by letting the client satellite float a few hundred meters away before finding it, attaching itself to it. Now all of these tests will be performed autonomously with little to no human input once they are set in motion. So it does look like people or researchers are already getting to it when it does come to space pollution and space debris, and they don't want it to become like Mother Earth right here. We have a lot of pollution, which does kind of create climate change.
Yeah.
And we're looking at climate change happening drastically, and climate change is real, ladies and gentlemen. But we want to know your guys' thoughts. 4215 do it slot on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. What do you think about cleaning up space? Are you surprised that there's actually space debris? Were you kind of in shock like Omni and I were? But we're going to be taking a short break, and when we come back,
We're talking all about ex-Google employees finding a new replacement for Google. Will it be just as good or not? Stay tuned to find out all about it.
yeah, I guess we might love them later.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
We've always heard stories about crazy exes, but Google has a crazy ex that is out to get him.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, because an ex-Google employee has built his own search engine and is just down the road from Google. Now, a new search platform has gained over $40 million in funding, which was founded by ex-Google employees with headquarters down the road from the tech giant.
Yes, indeed. Now, we all trust Google. Whenever we don't know something, the first thing that pops into our mind, let's just Google it. But what if we start Nivea-ing it? It does
I don't
not
like it.
It doesn't flow the same way as Google does. I know, but Nivea is the new.
Sounds like that lotion.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. It feels like an ad
It's
for.
called Nivea,
Yeah, it's
right?
called Nivea, and it's not spelled the same way. So Nivea is spelled Nieva. This one is Neweva. So
Or Neva.
So it's Neva. Yeah, it's the brand new Google new replacement for Google, and it was
Google's
actually
ex.
Google's ex. Yes, and it was founded by 2 former Google employees, but. A lot of people have actually had different privacy concerns when it comes to discussing Google. Many people tend to say that it tracks our searches, which it does, and it does that so that it can target you different
Machine
ads.
learning.
Yes. And sometimes people can go on incognito mode and you're still being tracked. That's the whole issue behind it. So some have went for using DuckDuckGo, which proved to be successful in some times, but then you had more privacy concerns saying that DuckDuckGo isn't as private as we think it is.
Yes, now the founder or CEO of Nevo did work at Google for 15 years, where he helped to build, scale, and run the tech giant's ad division. Now, the other one was a Google's VP of monetization of YouTube and did work at Google just shy of 12 years. So these had quite a history when it did come to Google. Now, clearly this duo does have a lot of experience and are putting it to use by providing a new search engine. And they aren't the only ex-Googlers on the team. And there was one that was working at Yahoo, Amazon, and Google. So it does look like they developed something called a power couple and a power team when it does come to taking on the tech giant Google. Now, my assumption is that they're going nowhere.
I would agree with you on that one as well, because even though the aim and the mission behind Neva it's great. They basically want to give you a platform where you can search for information without having to just deal with all the distractions, all the ads on the side, ads popping up, and their basic model of the website is basically just allowing you to carry out your search. There is no advertisers involved. You're not going to be dictated by the ads that come up in your way. So it does sound like a great option. Will it win the competition with Google? No.
Nope.
There's just a long way to go. And if you're wondering how it works exactly like a normal Google would, but just no ads involved.
Yeah, time and time again, we've seen a lot of mock-up companies try to take on the big dogs, and they're a big dog for a reason. Google is just too big. They own too many things. Their presence is very well established in our society.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
it's also pricey.
I mean,
it's subscription based.
I mean, who cares? I mean, you can guys see that what I search, I don't care. I'm not gonna pay to use the internet. You know, you do pay to use the internet, but in the sense of accessing a free service,
engine.
yeah. I mean, you already have Google Maps, YouTube. The list goes on. If I list them, we're going to go all the way to 330.
Yeah.
That's how big Google is. So them trying to take on the big dogs, that's a dumb plan. We've seen DuckDuckGo, which had a great backup. Even Elon Musk backed up DuckDuckGo. But the DuckDuck didn't go. It stopped. No one's using DuckDuckGo anymore. Yes. Firefox has been in the game for years. Even I think Google and Firefox they kind of started at the same time.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Yahoo didn't work. Microsoft's Bing. It's Bing. It's Microsoft. Microsoft couldn't go against Google. You cannot battle the big dogs, especially when it's such a monopoly when it comes to Google.
Yeah.
Advertisers, they go to Google to buy their information on. Oh, but see, honey, you're telling me privacy. Yes, but at the same time, you need ads to be targeted to you.
And you need to make money out of the platform.
This is the game.
If Niva is not going to be selling our information to advertisers, they're getting the money from us because it's going to be subscription based.
Yeah.
You'll pay $5 to $10 every single month and you'll get the service.
And what's the information? Hani lives in Sharjah. Hani likes to go to the gym. Hani is has X amount of experience in the gym. He's this age. I mean, who cares?
We can't deny it. I mean, privacy-wise, Google doesn't know a lot about us, but even Niva would know a lot about you. They're taking
What's the worst that can happen, right?
Yeah, true.
Like, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, I'm just getting... Like, the only thing I see is that I'm getting targeted ads.
True.
I mean...
And they're listening to your conversations, which can be pretty freaky.
I mean, at the same time, even Google Translate, they listen to what we talk about to use their machine learning. So... There was a post that I looked at a couple of days ago where there's a language I do believe is called Czech. It's the Czech Republic uses it. I don't know what the language is.
Okay.
But there's no female and male pronouns when it does come to saying he or her. It's just you. So if it's she, there's no she, there's no he. He and she is used for one. Right?
So you have no gender.
There's no gender. So they used the search, they typed out, what's it called, on Google Translate and translated it to English. So machine learning was kind of even putting it that he goes to work, she stays at home. So he would write, this person goes to work, this person stays at home, this person cooks, this person cleans. And Google already translated, because of machine learning, he goes to work, she cleans. She does this and he does that.
It did it for you.
It did it for you. The gender already assumed each gender based on machine learning and what type of profession that person is doing or what kind of ability that person is doing. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a person who does a lot of things.
He does it all.
He does it all. It's Ramar Dori, the halftime show, the only place to be after he's wearing a Kandora, looking nice, Sharjah's Heritage Day, a week. I like it.
I was trying to keep up with your he and your she, and I was like, man, I don't want to. This was too good, man. I didn't want to interrupt it.
I like it, man.
Well, I'll tell you what's coming up on the show today. No, actually, some people have said that to me as well, but talking about tan and color, the color psychologist is on the show today talking about color therapy. And that's going to be on the show today. We're talking about all types of things and how color psychology actually affects mental health. On the halftime show today at 3 p.m.
What an exciting show and an exciting topic it is.
I like it.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
I love colors.
I always appreciate you. I mean, I'm wearing a very darkish Kandora today. You know, making his tan pop out.
That is color psychology for you as well.
Even the camera's like, whoa, what's going on? All right, now it changed frame. But if you guys are watching this on YouTube, the camera just went super bright all of a sudden. But ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude Future Talk for today. We do have the halftime show T-minus 6 minutes, the only place to be at 3. But ladies and gentlemen, if you do love us now, would you love us at our worst?
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.